Welcome to Kitabi Cabins, guys. This is another of our episode of our series about obsessions.
What are you going to talk about today? What's the obsession?
Obsession for the day and the episode is the book by Robert Greene, 33 Strategies of War. And Robert Greene ऐसे इंसान है जिनकी किताबें सब लोग पढ़ते हैं बट कोई किसी को नहीं बताता है. It's said like अगर आप ऐसे billionaires or any industry जहाँ के जो top of the food chain पे लोग हैं, everyone has those books in their closet but no one talks about them.
Yeah, this reminds me of the 3 Idiots, which होता सभी के पास है. Done.
Okay, yeah. I'll tell you my story with it. So I follow Robert Greene on Twitter and मेरे को उनकी पोस्ट दिखती रहती है and he always says something which like you'll be like अरे यार ये तो मतलब very cancelable stuff he says. मचा दिया नहीं, very cancelable stuff. Enemies से related कुछ बोल देंगे या ऐसा कुछ बोल देंगे कि आपके जो notions है उससे related कुछ बोल देंगे. It's almost like कि ब्रो ये सब नहीं बोलते ऐसे नहीं सिखाया हमें स्कूल में, ये तो गंदा अंकल है. लाइक ही ऑलवेज लाइक उनकी बातें, ही इज लाइक द एंटी एलन डे वॉटन. आप ऐसे मान लो कि अगर एलन डे वॉटन गिव्स यू अ वार्म हग, रॉबर्ट ग्रीन गिव्स यू अ वार्म थप्पड़,
टाइट स्लैप,
लाइक प्रॉपर स्लैप. एवरी लाइन दैट ही सेज इज कि यू आर नॉट रेडी फॉर इट. इन्होंने बहुत ऐसी किताबें लिखी हैं which are like if badly interpreted they can like ruin your life. It starts with 48 laws of power. जो भी power obsessed है या who is like remotely ambitious in their life, they know कि there is a book by this name और उन्होंने ना ऊपर से देखा है. पढ़े ही बहुत कम लोगों ने 48 laws of power, मैंने भी नहीं पढ़ी है, but like I know okay what it is about and those are like really good laws. Vaani, the first law is never outshine your mentor, right? And a lot of people make this mistake because there comes a day जब आप अपने mentor से start बन जाते हो and you do something which makes you look that you are better than your mentor. You should never do that. It like ruins things. इनकी मैंने एक किताब पढ़ी थी जिसके लिए like I feel proud that I have read it. It's a book called Mastery. So Mastery में इन्होंने क्या किया था, he talked about like the flag bearers or like the greatest masters of their arts of all time. So Mastery में ही there was this chapter about Leonardo da Vinci and like people who are of the category of Leonardo da Vinci, वो कैसे काम करते थे. And there is a lot of focus in the phase of apprenticeship. You need to find someone who teaches you stuff और आप बिल्कुल apprenticeship करो उनके अंदर, क्योंकि आज की डेट में ये काम होता है. Mastery is like one of his works which is very less controversial but like उसमें content तब भी equally amazing है. Then he wrote this book again very very controversial, The Art of Seduction.
Yeah, I've read that one.
Oh, I haven't read that. Like, did you learn the art
No,
of?
it's actually good. It tells you about the kind of people there are, the ways different people there are, and there are different methods to get your work done through different people.
Yeah, so Art of Seduction is there. Again, अगर आप इसको badly interpret करोगे
It
तो
can go very wrong for
yeah,
people.
yeah. These are very scary books.
Yeah.
क्योंकि अगर आप
There is Laws of Human Nature as well. I was reading it.
His
What
book is
a beautiful book. But if you are somebody, as I imagine, someone who's not very mature, things can go south for you.
Yeah. So थोड़ी guidance के साथ पढ़ने वाली किताब है. But I don't know why I've been so obsessed with war lately. Okay, so this is very interesting. So it's a spoiler of like Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones में एक बहुत खतरनाक war होने वाला होता है. But like what the enemy side does is वो जाके dinner table पे 5 सबसे important लोगों का murder करवा देती है. It's the Red Wedding, right? So Red Wedding, and then like the person who was the manipulator, who was the man who strategized this, he says, would you rather kill 5 people over dinner or like have 2,000 people killed in a battle?
Now I feel like watching games.
And then you are like, भाई बंदे ने बात तो सही बोली, इसने 5 लोगों को मार के वॉर बचा लिया. तो वॉर में फिर आती है स्ट्रैटेजी और आते हैं टैक्टिक्स. 33 स्ट्रैटेजीज ऑफ वॉर. आई हैव जस्ट स्टार्टेड, लाइक मैंने इसका लेकिन प्रीफेस सेक्शन और इसने जो बताया है कि क्या स्ट्रैटेजीज होती है वो स्टार्टिंग में इन्होंने बता दिया. आई रेड 30-40 पेजेस इनटू इट. द थिंग इज मैं ट्वीट्स पढ़ता रहता था इसके. सो मैंने एक 33 स्ट्रैटेजीज ऑफ वॉर का एक हैंडल लाइक वो कर रखा है, तो वो रोज की एक लाइन बताते रहते हैं. Similarly, there is a handle for Laws of Human Nature. There is a handle for Art of Seduction.
I love those bots actually.
Yeah, ये bots काफी cool होते हैं. That got me into 33 strategies of war क्योंकि pro क्या strategies हैं ये. And in general, I wanted to understand strategy because we are also running a business now. कि मेरे को long term planning की advantages दिखाई देती है क्योंकि 99.9999% people make the mistake of thinking short term. And that is where like things go wrong. So long term thinking एक बहुत बड़ा skill set and it's an acquired skill set. like आपको सीखना पड़ता है, उसके लिए like books like these help. So in the start only, this like book like explains you the difference between tactics and strategy. Tactics are like a thing, like the rules or the strategies you apply on a battlefield, but like those are not strategies. आप अगर real time देख रहे हो मैं ये battle कैसे जीतूंगा, तो वो tactics है. So this book explains कि a lot of people think they are strategists, but they are not strategists, they are tacticians. बस एक event के बारे में सोच रहे हैं कि इसको कैसे करना है, but to become a strategist is very counterintuitive. So आपको बहुत long term सोचना पड़ता है, and this book also teaches you about, आप like warfare के बारे में सोच रहे हो तो campaign build करो, आप ये मत सोचो कि मैं battle कैसे जीतूं. And जो Sun Tzu जिनकी Art of War है, वो पूरी किताब है इस बारे में कि आप wars कैसे जीतो without bloodshed. Right. So this book also talks about that, and कि how to like really have things your way without a lot of bloodshed. And इसमें जो examples दिए Greek mythology के, like
I think they've covered everything from Greek
Greek
mythology
Bhagavad
to
Gita का example
Yeah,
है.
there's also Buddha. There is
Yeah. Everything is there.
There's Greek philosophy also.
Yeah, तो there's this part मैं वानी को भी बता रहा था कि there's this Greek goddess जिनका नाम होता है शायद Athena is there. So there is this part कि be Athena not Ares, क्योंकि Athena जैसे strategy बनाती थी, and when she got into the battlefield you are going to lose, but like Ares का बहुत ही tactic based था. फिर उन्होंने बताया कि what are the mistakes they did, and there is another part in this which states you should be at war with yourself, and it's great कि अगर आप खुद के against एक war declare कर दोगे ना, then it is just going to help you how you will go outside of your comfort zone.
I don't remember where I read this quote. Maybe you were the one who sent it to me. I read somewhere recently that if you're not at war with yourself, you will end up becoming very dull.
Yeah.
There is no possibility of growth.
Yeah, so these all things are there in this. I think you need the right mixture of an Alien Day bottle and a Robert Greene in your life. क्योंकि Robert Greene पढ़ोगे तो आप बहुत ज़्यादा ऐसा हो जाओगे कि भाई लाइफ तो बहुत ही क्रूएल है, लाइफ में तो सब लोग ही गंदे होते हैं, बट Alien Day bottle पढ़ोगे तो आपको लगेगा लाइफ तो बहुत अच्छी है. उस अगर ग्राफ पे देखो तो इस साइड फिर मारिया पोपोवा आती है.
I think what happens is every time you read someone like Maria Popova or Ellen DeGeneres, you kind of get a certain idea about life कि हाँ सिर्फ rainbows होंगे. That is why it becomes very important to read books like Art of War, because it's good to balance. But if you read only this part of the spectrum, you'll end up becoming very negative about life. But if you read only this side of the spectrum, you'll be like, hey, rainbows and sunshine.
And imagine the people who just disregard the whole spectrum because these are self-help books. Like मेरे को बहुत ज़्यादा डर लगता है कि मतलब वो घुसेंगे ही नहीं, अरे यार तुम पागल हो, ऐसी किताबें पढ़ रहे हो. It's very very dangerous. आप पढ़ो यार. Like can I read some of my favorite parts from the book? Instead of resisting the pull of strategy and the virtues of rational warfare or imagining that this is beneath you, it is far better to confront its necessity. Mastering the art will only make your life more peaceful and productive in the long run, for you will know how to play the game and win without violence. Ignoring it will lead to the life of endless confusion and defeat. तो क्योंकि हम ऐसा होते नहीं हम तो मतलब क्या वॉर क्या स्ट्रैटेजी नहीं अच्छा चल रहा है, और ये कह रहा है नहीं भाई, इफ यू confront it head on कि बॉस ये रिक्वायर्ड है लाइफ में, तो मतलब एक बार थोड़ा आपको डर लगेगा, बट लॉन्ग टर्म इसके जो कॉन्सिक्वेंसेस हैं वो बेटर होंगे, एंड योर लाइफ वोंट बी फिल्ड विद वेगनेस एंड स्टफ. द मोमेंट यू एम फॉर रिजल्ट्स यू आर इन द realm of strategy. I love this. Winning without bloodshed is one thing जो मैंने हाईलाइट की हुई है.
Winning without bloodshed in today's era it would mean winning but without offending people, without making enemies.
Oh yes, nice observation. We have aggressive impulses that are impossible to ignore or repress. I'm just very happy कि मैं कभी इन चीजों से इतना obsessed नहीं हुआ हूँ कि बस अरे यार तुमने तो रॉबर्ट ग्रीन नहीं पढ़ा. It's like that one cafe in your town कि कभी आप जा सकते हो.
And I've heard people shit about him, but I think if you go with certain amount of maturity and intellect, you will come back with things that you'll use.
अभी जैसे कुछ लोग हो सकता है कि वीडियो देखें ये लोग रॉबर्ट ग्रीन की बात कर रहे हैं. ओपन रहो यार, सबके लिए ओपन रहो.
Recently I did not know Art of 33 Strategies of War Robert Greene की. I came to know it abhi when you announced it by Robert Greene. Quite recently, coincidentally, I have been obsessed with Robert Greene on Instagram.
Oh,
I follow his. I think he posts. I don't know if it is his main channel or if it's like some fan club or whatever. But वहाँ पे clippings आती हैं of Robert Greene speaking.
Oh yes, ये reels बहुत चल रही हैं. हाँ.
And I love them. And I've always liked Robert Greene. I don't know. I think my first book was Laws of Human. उसकी pocket editions आती थी. And I got Art of Seduction, 43 Laws of Power, and Laws of Human Nature. Because I really wanted to understand human nature because I thought I was very bad with people. And when I started reading it, I was like, I need the hardbound copy.
Yeah, man. And अगर आप notice करोगे ना, topics इतने different है. Seduction, war, human nature, mastery. आप mastery पढ़ोगे. Mastery is just about how to be the best at what you do. और आप फिर बाद भी
And
तो
it's very insightful.
Very insightful कि लियोनार्डो डा विंची क्या करता था. एंड ना रॉबर्ट ग्रीन से एक बार किसी ने एक इंटरव्यू में पूछा था कि यार आपकी किताबें ना लोगों को लगता है कि ये तो बहुत ही नेगेटिव है, ऐसा क्यों है? और वो कहते हैं कि यार उन्होंने बोला मेरा लाइफ में बस कटा है. ही हैज डन मोर देन 50, 70, 80 जॉब्स. वो बहुत जॉब्स चेंज करते थे. उन्होंने एज अ जर्नलिस्ट काम किया है. ही हैज बीन दैट पर्सन जिन्होंने एज वेटर काम किया, बहुत चीजें की. सो ही इज जस्ट लाइक कि मेरा हर बार लाइक मेरे को रियलाइज हो, ओ शिट आई मेड दिस मिस्टेक, मेरे को ये बताना चाहिए था. ओ शिट आई मेड दिस मिस्टेक, मेरे को ये बताना चाहिए था. एंड दैट इज व्हाई आई रोट लाइक 48 laws of power. So 48 laws of power is which gets like very okay.
Oh, this is something I think everyone has heard of.
Yeah, 48 laws of power के बारे में पढ़ा होगा. But my recommendation अभी के लिए है the 33 strategies of war. I didn't pick this book for the word war. I picked this book for the word strategy. I'm loving the idea of strategy ever since like we have set up an office, we have started working, we have started thinking long term. We are not like living just कि अच्छा कल ये बना देते हैं. नहीं आप like you are thinking long term कि मैं ये बनाऊंगा तो इसका ये repercussion है, ये long term करोगे तो ये है, and you are applying it everywhere because you are not like worried of the term. Oh, strategy. ये तो YouTube channel ही तो चलाते हो. This is great and I'm glad I could talk about this. So please read 33 strategies of war and थोड़ा openly पढ़ो, मतलब ऐसे खुले दिमाग से पढ़ो. And you should follow like him on Twitter, Insta, and like it his bots of multiple books. थोड़ा perspective gaining के लिए I think these books are very important.
Yes.
Like I said, I am getting into the word strategy a lot. Like I remember I messaged a lot of entrepreneurs, can you recommend me the best book on strategy? ये मेरे को किसी ने recommend नहीं की थी. It's just that something I picked up क्योंकि I didn't get a lot of replies and I'm like यार strategy में best book कौन सी है? And I'm like, hey man, it's Robert Greene's 33 Strategy of War जो मेरे बार बार आ रही है. Let's read this. And it's really really renowned in the world of entrepreneurship, business. So मैं उस perspective से देख रहा हूँ. मेरे को जाके मेरे को red wedding नहीं करनी जाके. Yeah.
Have you noticed one thing? Some of the best books on strategies have come from war and sports.
Oh, definitely.
But
yeah.
Thank you so much for watching, guys, and we'll be back with another of our obsessions in the next episode. Do like, share and subscribe. We really want to hit 10K on Kitabi Cabins. अगर आपने subscribe कर दिया, make sure your friend also subscribes to the channel.
Yeah,
and
the
just
friend you are at war with. Sorry.
Or perhaps the friend you've made peace with.
Oh. Bye guys.
Bye guys.